Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Thank you for joining me for my second stream of the day. We had a couple of games against Scott Senen this morning, and now we are back in the afternoon for the Atlantic League playoffs. So let's get to this one. We've got Ryan and Scott. Ryan leads this series 1-0. And is looking ahead to the Atlantic League Finals. Scott trying to stretch this to a Game 3. Okay, so looking at Ryan's hand, this is a pretty meh hand. We've got 12, 14, 15. We got 18 ops, which is right about the average. We do have D-stall, which is always nice, but special's annoying, NORAD's annoying, and D-stall can often be a little bit awkward on turn one. And yeah, here we go. So Scott goes 4-4-2 against 3-3-2. Sock Govs would be a great headline. We'll see if Ryan goes for it. He doesn't have, if he headlines Sock Govs, he doesn't have a 4-op to coup with, and in fact, he doesn't really have a 3-op to coup with because I don't think he's going to want to use NORAD. And I think NORAD is a must space. So he is going to go special. He is going to go Sock Govs. Okay. Is he going to try a 2-op coup of Italy? He will. It's only a 50-50, though. I'm not sure. Oh, boy. And Ryan misses. Okay, so obviously the 2-up coup of Iran would have been only a 50-50 as well. But the critical thing is there. If Scott had headline, or if Ryan had headline something like Romanian, he could have used the 3-op to coup Iran, and then that 3 would have been good enough. Now, Scott obviously needs to correct his West Germany and Italy problem, but as long as he's got a guilt-free 3, which I'm sure that he does, he can get out of Iran. Okay, so Scott obviously needs to fix West Germany. He needs to fix Italy. He can probably leave Italy at 2 for the moment because obviously Sock Govs is gone and he wants to get out of Iran. So this must be at least a 3-op. I feel like you've got to do those things. If you don't fix West Germany, then Ryan can stick one in there and for the price of just 1-op, threaten both West Germany and France, which I think is not good. You want to make Ryan at least spend 2 ops for the privilege. And then Scott wants to get out of Iran because I suspect that Ryan would be happy to take another 50-50 shot at Iran here if it stays like it is because Ryan has D-stall and wants to get that off. Yeah, there's a big 4-op. Okay. So yeah, one there. Interesting. Okay, and he goes just 1 in Pakistan. Oh, and boy, Ryan looks like he wants a D-stall right away. Very interesting. Okay. Things are about to get high defcon weird if we go with this play. The problem Ryan has is if Scott goes to France, to Thailand, there's not much Ryan can do about that. He's going to have to play China. I never liked the one in South Africa. I hate the one in South Africa. But if this is the plan, then I guess it's okay. You don't want, if you go Venezuela, you risk being cooed out of there. Yeah, I like the coup better, I think. You coup, you try and hit the roll, you lower DEFCON to 3. If you can get one into Pakistan, you give them something to do. Yeah, I like the 4th in Venezuela. I like this if we're going to destall. Ryan looks like he's going to have to play the China card here. Nice job, JR, on a 5-stream streak. Congratulations. I think Ryan just wants to make sure he can get one of France and Thailand. And Thailand's going to be... Thailand is important every game, of course, but it's going to be especially important because Scott has access to Western Asia. So Ryan's going to need to get... Unless an IP war hits or something like that, Ryan is going to need to lock up both Thailand and South Korea to stop it in order to not get dominated in Asia. Okay, and Ryan goes with the big D-stall. So, super aggressive, super early D-stall. Now, Scott, what's he going to do? He could, if he's got a 4-op, then getting into France and Thailand both makes sense. Little does he know, Ryan doesn't even have a 3-op he's willing to play here. I really don't think there's any way he's going to be willing to give NORAD on turn 1, particularly because we're likely to have NORAD targets immediately. So Scott can't coup Thailand because if he does, he loses France. If he goes 2 France, 1 Thailand, then Scott can just take Thailand, or he can take France with China. Oh, no, he's going to go with a 4-op coup of Thailand. He rolls only a 2, but that's good enough. Okay. Now, looks like, I think if you're Ryan, you have to just take France. And he's going to give NORAD. That's wild. Okay. Yeah, going to give NORAD turn 1 because he wants to give... Because he doesn't want to get couped out of Venezuela. Very interesting. Okay. I guess that makes sense. You don't if you spend a 2-op in France. Oh boy, Ryan's gotta have this one, and he doesn't get it. All right. Well, now I think you've got a coup if you are Ryan, because Asia is just going to be an epic nightmare. Okay, just enough to get him out of Panama. Okay. Asia's going to be an absolute nightmare. You did get France, but boy, D-stall is gone. Now you're going to be dominated in Asia. D-call now gone as well. Oh, my goodness. Okay, Ryan, and just also, Ryan is behind... Oh, I would have invented that, right? For Dom? Oh, okay. I would have invented that. Even with that, Indy Red's gone, I would have invented that, I think. Okay, UN of Suez. Now Ryan's dominated in Asia. He needs to get 5-year plan in Asia. And not so important to establish presence in the Middle East, but Lebanon's important here. Yeah, I don't think you can give... You really don't want to give special here. The special poke doesn't do much, and he's going to space it and miss. I think I'd have rather seen him take Lebanon, but yeah, you really don't want to, you want to hang on to IP war because that's your last chance to do anything in Asia. EEU is around, and there's Nasser. Okay, and that should be, okay, yeah, obviously got to take... Got to put a third into Thailand. Okay, here we go. Turn 2. Ryan gets Asia and nothing with which to fight Asia other than IP war. He does get Purge, which helps. He also gets CIA, which very much does not help. And he gets EEU, which if he doesn't hold CIA, EEU is actually a very interesting, is probably a great hold card into turn 3. You probably don't want to be dealing with that. With the board how it is. NORAD is not active. Okay, Bert the Turtle. So CIA now going to have to be held. Yeah, so Ryan would like to get Libya here. Yeah, this is a good play. I like this play. It's a good long-term play. Ryan's down 7 VP, and Asia is going to only get worse. I like this play. It's a good long-term play with Ryan, with Scott under Purge. Now, Scott might have blockade, might not, but yeah, he's going to dump Europe immediately. So taking Europe Dom was a possibility there as well. Oh, and Ryan hits the war. Okay, hold on, folks. We may, if Scott does not have a 4-op, then Ryan may be able to wriggle out of this. We've seen Purge. We've seen US, Japan. I think we've seen one other one. Huge win on the IP war for Ryan. It's 2 VPs. It's 2 mil-ops that Scott is not going to get. So that's 4 VPs. Plus, he can now fight Asia. This is going to call for a use of the China card. And I have to feel like Scott is going to immediately go into Pakistan with the biggest card he has. I would at least get one in there. If Ryan doesn't hit that IP war, he's looking at being down double digits heading into turn 3, which obviously is a disaster for him. And he's also holding CIA. Ugh. And so Ryan now, yeah, I think you have to use China here. Question is how. Yeah, you have to do this. You have to. And you hope Scott doesn't have another 4-op with which to take India or Taiwan. Surprised it took that long for Scott to make that play on Pakistan. Asia's the only unscored region. Okay, just a 2-op, which means a 1-op, and that's going into India. And Ryan is just going to score Asia and breathe a huge sigh of relief. Okay, CNS. Scott gets CNS off. Okay, yeah, and get one into India makes sense. I like holding defectors. But I think in this spot, I like holding EEU even more. AI war. Okay, well, Ryan, that was a full strength AI war, which gives Ryan mil-ops anyway. Okay, yep, I'm going to protect Italy. Yeah, hold EEU, hold. Obviously, have to hold CIA or you lose the game. EEU. Okay. It's going to do EEU and fix the 2 battlegrounds. Truman is coming. And I'm going to take a Middle East Dom. All right, I like that. And there's Comic-Con. Okay, so EEU now not that important to hold. So good decision by Ryan to dump EEU and hang on to defectors. Okay, NORAD now active, which is interesting. Pakistan, the main target. Okay, Marshall 5-year plan containment. Those are nice to get. Asia redraw and an IP war redraw. I think this is just an immediate Asia headline to dump it because you're about to get NORAD. NORAD's going to flip Pakistan. You could also 5-year plan Asia, but if you do that, you're going to have to give. But you can't do that if you have to hold CIA. Yeah, this has to be this. Yeah, no, and there's nothing Ryan can do here because we have IP war to get Dom. So there's nothing Scott can do rather. So Ryan's going to get out of Asia for even twice, despite how horrible it looked. Thanks to the purge and thanks to the IP war. Olympics. Ryan's going to participate. Scott hits that role, and we'll see CIA here. And so I assume we'll just see a coup in South America. And then a NORAD op will do something. Needs a 5 to really do anything in South America. But I think that's the play. I think it's Venezuela or Brazil. I think it's Brazil. Yep. Okay, misses. Pretty harmless CIA, particularly because we have the war in our hands. Now, NORAD is coming, which Ryan knows. Yeah. I know you know it, and I know you know it. So the question is, does he want to go Pakistan to defend that, even with Asia scored? I think I probably would. We need to hang on to Pakistan. India is also naked for IP war purposes. And if we allow Pakistan to be flipped, it would no longer be. So now, yeah, I think I like this. You could see a NORAD op into Egypt and then an immediate Middle East dump. But I think I'd be fine with that if I were Ryan. Now, Scott also could put the NORAD op in Pakistan and flip it with China. I think I would also be fine with that if I were Ryan, with Asia scored and IP war in my hand. So I seriously doubt we will see that. I'm just drinking some sparkling water, cherry limeade flavored. It's Tim. Thank you for tuning in. Yep, and there goes Egypt. And no Middle East. We're just going to see him space it. And so just to stop Dom and annoy Ryan a little bit. There was no rush to space, so we know Scott doesn't have Middle East. Scott knows Ryan doesn't have Middle East. And so now if I'm Ryan, I think I'd work on filling up battlegrounds. So Venezuela, Brazil, Argentina, Chile, probably Iraq needs to be filled as well. And then the question is, how aggressive do we want to get in India? I doubt really aggressive because with Asia being scored. And here we go. It's with Marshall. We'll see if Ryan decides to give Marshall, and if he does, how he does it. If he wants to use Marshall to fill up South America, or if he wants to use it to take Mediterranean countries, or he might just space it. Warsaw is not active, so maybe he doesn't want to activate NATO. A special activated NATO would be, or a NATO activated special rather, would be quite annoying. Yeah, defectors. Yep, there's that for sure. Ryan wants to hang on to IP war as long as he can. Yeah, this is fine. I think I'd go one Argentina first to prevent Hail Mary realigns. Overfilling both here, but this is fine. If Scott wanted the Hail Mary realigns in Chile, he would have tried them already. So what does Scott want to do? Scott wants to take Mexico, wants to fill up Southeast Asia, wants to take the walk to Cameroon. Scott knows about IP war, so he knows Ryan's getting mill ops. De Gaulle, free 3-op, basically. That'll be one Zaire. And he goes one Greece, which is interesting. Ryan takes a shot on the war. Now, we'll see if Scott wants to fill India with the war gone. Still a 2 VP swing for Ryan, even though he missed the roll. Now that Ryan has, and also now that Ryan has Millops, we'll see if Scott tries to get to Cameroon early, which in fact I would do, knowing that Ryan has work to do filling up South America, and he only has a 3 and a 4. I would take the early walk to Cameroon and see if I can lock up Nigeria. Yeah, I like that, and I like Cameroon. Yes, I like this play from Scott. Now though, Marshall's not that big a deal. I hate giving Marshall as the U.S. in the early war, but I think this is the time to do it. We need to fill these countries. Yeah, we've got to fill up Argentina, and we've got to fill up Algeria. I like the decision from Scott here. Ryan now looks like he's going to be dominated in Asia long term, but it's already been scored twice. Okay, Romanian does not matter. Containment. This will be 2 there and 1 here. Yep. And then Ryan presumably will finish by taking Mexico, Nigeria, and then probably Guatemala. No, just a 1-op to discard a 2-op. So, interesting. Does not take Mexico, only goes Guatemala. Okay, here's a nice hand. We get ABM. We get Kennedy, which we can dump on AR7 or AR6, I guess. We get OAS with 5-year plan. Usuri can go to space. Could also be triggered. It's not that bad here. ABM, though, I think has to be the headline. Defectors is gone. ABM has to be the headline with NORAD about. And I think if I were Ryan, I think I would just try and get 2 coups in Africa here. Just coup in Africa, if you can. Now, on Scott's side, I wonder if we will see given that he went to Guatemala and didn't fill Mexico. Oh, there's Africa. And yeah, okay. Well, that's Scott. That's a risky headline. Yeah, it's just a coup. It's just a coup in Zaire. That's all it is. Coup in Zaire. Instead of 5 VPs, that goes to 0. The huge risk for Scott, though, was a decall headline from Ryan. And I wonder if decall is in Scott's hand, because a decall headline from Ryan would have given Ryan Dom. So, yeah, coup in Africa. I'd just take another coup in Africa, honestly. Yeah, this is fine. I would do this. And he misses. Okay. NORAD probably fills Mexico, would be my guess. Pakistan doesn't seem that important. I wonder if we're going to see a Honduras play, and then a walk from all the way from Mexico, or from the U.S. rather, all the way from the U.S. into Panama. And if we do see Honduras, I would expect we'd see a Colombia play from Ryan. Okay, well, no need for the Honduras play. He's got PCR, so forget about that. PCR quite annoying if you're Ryan, because that gives another meaningful NORAD target, in addition to securing Panama for the U.S. and potentially setting up realigns in Cuba later. Yeah, I think you have to do this. Yep, 100% have to do that. That's I like that play. Oh, interesting. Those arms race VPs could have waited. Now we're going to see realigns in Cuba. Scott tried realigns in Cuba against me last game to great effect, and in this game as well. Now Scott set up for potential control in Central. Yeah, I don't like the decision from Ryan that those arms race VPs could have waited. We were definitely getting those, no problem. Ryan tries a bit of a weak coup there in Guatemala, misses on the roll. Ryan, at this point, I think, maybe Ryan thinking that he does not want to give mill ops, but if that were the case, he would be realigned out of Cuba. So I doubt that is what we're looking at. Usuri is not that big a deal. I might give it here rather than spacing it, but I suspect Ryan will space it. Because if you give Usuri and Ryan goes to Pakistan, to North Korea, then you can fix those. And then if Scott wants to respond by flipping Pakistan, that's no big deal. Okay, hits on the roll. We can't stop the double. Yep, going to space it. Okay, yeah, just go get the 1 VP. Quagmire going to space. Scott hits that as well. Okay, Scott now with a 4 VP lead. Yeah, I kind of like this. It's not, yes, it has already scored, but it's flipping a battleground. I also would have kind of like taken Saudi there. I think we'll give an early Kennedy, maybe take Saudi with that. And then finish with a 5-year plan of OAS. 5-year plan of OAS. Five-year plan of OAS, normally a good way to get rid of that card, especially with South America full, but does create NORAD problems. And yes, Timmy, I know, if he doesn't headline Africa, Ryan just takes the 2 coups that I mentioned, and the scoring would all of a sudden be negative. It wouldn't be dominated, but it'd be negative. The issue is, of course, a decall headline. You just have to hope you don't see that. Oh, going to play China. Interesting. Oh, wow. North Korea jam. And we are going to give Kennedy here. Presumably that means we're going to see cultural, because this is not, as North Korea jams go, I know Ted loves them, but this isn't the time when it's critically important. North Korea is not going to decide Dom. So I suspect we're just going to see a cultural play here. And I'd be looking to create some NORAD target. Oh, boy. NTB. Interesting. So doing this instead of, okay, and he needs to secure Panama as well. Okay, OAS will, I would put OAS into Brazil and Argentina. I know it can get fixed, but then you have 2 NORAD targets. Quagmire also just went to space. This has to be Colombia. I think this is, Colombia is better. Colombia is better, right? Isn't Colombia? No, it's not better because he can coup and get mill-ups. Okay. Ryan is committed to not giving up mill-ups here. So he really wants those 2 VPs. I liked Colombia because it forces the Panama fill. Also means we can't get jammed in South America. And it also means NORAD. Okay, and we don't get anything that's going to... decall's nice, but we don't get anything that's going to stop NORAD. So NORAD is going to go off here. I wonder if is this a decall headline? And then decall headline flip Thailand is interesting. But yeah, purge. Okay, there goes. Forget about the Thailand flip. Okay, Usuri is gone. Usuri is spaced, rather. Could have been gone, but Ryan spaced it instead. Now Nixon gone, and we can trigger cultural. But now the problem is you can't coup because you're going to lose one of these countries in South America. Or if you don't, oh wow, he does coup and he flips over Panama. Needed a 5 and got it. So now you're going to lose Venezuela or Brazil, or maybe you won't lose it, and maybe Scott will just NORAD poke and score here if he has it. Nope. Interesting. Goes Brazil. Okay, independent Reds really isn't going to matter. We're not fighting for Europe Dom. Scott is purged now, and Scott probably needs to take Uruguay before Ryan does. Yeah, this has got to be Uruguay. Yep, sure is. And now Scott safely entrenched in South America. Now, Ryan gave NORAD on turn 1, and it didn't do much. It wasn't active on turn 2. It didn't do much turn 3 and turn 4. But turn 5, it was quite significant. Even with the purge, flipped over Brazil. France already overprotected, so Scott not worried about this. Puppets. Yep. Good play. I was wondering about Saudi, which is an important country here. Dumping Europe is fine. Getting into Saudi to try and contest it is fine. Decall is fine too. I think Vietnam is gone. I would do Vietnam as well. The VR is gone. It's in the discard. When will Sadat be coming? Okay, there goes Muslims. Just going to take him out of Saudi and Iran. Could take him out of Egypt, but I think I like the Saudi play, leaving it empty there. Okay, now I like I like that a lot. Gonna have to score Europe here on AR6, then I assume we'll space. Yeah, okay, well, we'll space right now to try and stop the double. And miss. We will not stop the double. Oh, wow. Gonna jack DEFCON way up, and there's nothing we can do. We have to score. Oh, boy. We'll see how Scott wants to use this. Oh, gonna just give gunman. France could only be realigned at +1, so that not that big a deal on France. Yeah, allows coup makes some sense. Are there realigns? Iran realigns. Iran realigns makes sense. Iran realigns makes sense. But you don't want to get realigned out of France. So I get that. I get that. Pakistan realigns makes sense for Ryan, and so but he just wants to. Yeah. Okay, here's garbage, but we do get junta. Junta is great, but not as good with DEFCON still sitting at 5. Yep, Grain is going to pull what? Omit? I wonder if that's an event. Good news is we have Sadat. We're going to have to give Sadat now, but we will be able to get Middle East off before that happens. So can realign France at +1, can realign Pakistan at +1, or you can just take a coup, or you can trigger this. Yeah, I'm going to take the France realigns, miss on the first one, and again on the second one. That was a minimal upside play. Because even if you clean out France completely, Ryan can coup and then immediately retake France. So that play didn't work out for Ryan, and it was pretty low upside now. So, okay, now I think I'd rather have the last coup, so I would take Brazil back. Yeah, I like taking Brazil back, and then we may eat Pakistan realigns. But Pakistan probably not going to decide domination, so not the end of the world. Or we might just see a big coup from Scott. Nuke subs for a coup in Nigeria. That hits. Now we have to decide if we're going to use duck for ops, which I would. You give the 3 VPs, although we still need mill ops. If you coup here, you're going to lose one of your South American battlegrounds, and it's going to be even. This is not a fun play. You don't want to give up 3 VPs and then also NORAD. But you really want to maintain South America. Oh, no. Well, you took back Brazil. Never mind. Ryan took back Brazil. So you're still going to you would still have South America Dom. Even if you lose one battleground, which is what would happen. I think, yeah, you coup Iran, you hope for, okay, yeah. And now we'll see if Scott has a 4, because Scott will want to poke a South American battleground. We want to poke Argentina and then use a 4 to retake. Okay, he's going to use China. All right, and now I think you just dump the Middle East. Pick up your 3. That frees up Sadat a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, and you gave it turn 1, Ryan. I understand why he did it, because if he hadn't, he would have gotten couped in Venezuela and perhaps and would not be in the top half of South America. So I understand why he did it, but man, he's paying for it big time. Quagmire in the discard. Ryan's going to give Sadat. He needs to take back North Korea. And there's South America. Okay, so Ryan does get his 6 VPs out of South America. Ryan with Dom there as well as in the Middle East. Finally hits a space roll and stops the double. Oh, and Suez before Camp David. Yeah. I'm not sure. I don't know if Scott is going to want to spend all those ops. Yeah, I think that's a better use of ops. Yeah, I like this. Okay. Scott with domination in Asia. But Ryan is ahead battlegrounds in Europe, and he dominates the Middle East and South America. He's ahead battlegrounds in Africa. Yeah. Yeah, I'm not so sure about that, Ryan. Okay. Now, Ryan is about to not dominate the Middle East, presumably if he gives up Sadat. The question is, he could UN Sadat and miss an AR, but I think you just give it. Okay. Oh, bear trap. Okay, well, that would have been interesting. Realign. Ryan's going to realign, and he's going to miss. Realigned at +1, trying to get Panama back. He misses, and Central is yet to score, so it's going to come next turn. That's a big miss for Ryan. U2 takes Panama, and then Dom and Central. Okay, we get a lot of garbage here. We get the scoring. Allende doesn't do anything for us. Soc Govs doesn't do anything for us. And a Europe redraw and a Truman redraw. Ugh, this hand is garbage. Okay, so we need to get Europe off before Truman because that's going to cost us a VP in Romania. Central right now is a draw. Or no, rather, it's not because we lost Panama. SocGov does almost nothing. The only thing it really does is turn off NORAD. Shuttle could definitely be a problem for us. Not going to be a problem in Asia, where we are already behind. But it will be an issue for us in the Middle East. Yeah, Junta. Okay, now yes, that's right. Now you don't need to worry about... Now NORAD's not going to trigger. Never mind. Brazil. Yeah, and Ryan can't retake that. No, you can't do that because if you do, you're going to get controlled in Central. Central is known in Ryan's hand. You have to concede this, I think, and score. Okay. Scott knows about Central in Ryan's hand. I think Scott would be happy to fill up Cuba here and take control. This will be Cuba. Yep. I think that's a mistake from Ryan. There goes Southeast. And yeah, Ryan is going to give up another 7. Yeah, this is an ugly turn for Ryan. Even realigns. Oh, he hits! Oh my goodness, hits at -1! Oh, wow. Wow. Yeah, that's a great question, Scott. That is a great question, Scott. Wow. Even realigns, bailing Ryan out. Now he's got to give Willie and take Mexico back. So Ryan's going to get Panama. Wow. So +1 realigns, deserted Ryan, but realigns at -1, or rather even, bailed him out here. I still like taking Panama with Allende. OPEC to space for 3, misses. Got a space VOA. Yeah, that misses as well. And Ryan wants one more mill up. Oh, okay. Brush is why he didn't take Panama. Makes sense. Oh, the brush misses. Flower Power delivers Ryan 2 VPs after the brush misses. Okay. He takes Nicaragua. All right. Gets that second mill up. Holding on to the Pope into the late war, hoping to pick up solidarity. Okay, Portuguese, not really going to do much of anything. And now, with Jordan, that is a South America, that's a Middle East Dom. Okay, here we go, turn 8. Ryan with some garbage here. AWACS Usuri, which I think Usuri's got to go to space. EEU, which I think probably is a little worse than an empty action round. Because you need Saudi Arabia here. You've got to get it. You can't. I don't think you can give AWACS until you take Saudi, and maybe not even then. Usuri has got to go to space. EEU's a problem. Ugh. The heck do we headline here? Is it death squads? Is it? I wonder if it's Yuri. Yeah, I think it's Yuri. Okay, wow, defectors. So I'm sure Ryan is fine seeing that defectored. Now you take a 2-op coup. I think you take it in Nigeria. I would take it in Nigeria. If you're going to coup. And again, Ryan has NORAD problems. And he misses on the coup. Now going to probably lose Brazil. Ryan in some trouble here. Again, Ryan leads in the series 1-0. So Scott needs this one to... Oh, interesting. Scott going to go into South Africa because he wants to stop Dom. Okay, uses the NORAD op in South Africa. And now that indicates to Ryan that Scott is someone with the scoring. Evil Empire could have been a good event, but instead is played for ops. So Evil Empire and North Sea both gone. You need to take Saudi here if you're Ryan at some point. Okay, yeah, you got to space that. That's fine. Oh, Scott misses again. There's a NORAD target, so that's something you got to keep in mind. Yeah, I think I like just giving this. Ugh. Worse than an empty action round. Pope is worse than an empty action round. Asia's huge. At least stops shuttle. So we know Scott doesn't have Middle East. I would Okay, the event is interesting here, but I really want to take Saudi. Okay. Iron Lady is lurking. Ryan looks like he's going to give up the Pope here, which I like. I don't think you want to give up AWACS. You give up the Pope, and I think Warsaw. I want to say Warsaw's around. Has not been evented. Yeah, I like that. Make him refill. Oh no, no, not going to do that. Instead, needs his mill ops. Interesting. Scott doesn't refill Iran. Maybe he's going to give the hostage crisis. Or maybe he's going to Aldrich away Middle East. No, if he had Middle East, he would have triggered it under, yeah, he would have triggered it under shuttle before Asia. Oh, Africa. Okay, now Ryan gets 4 VPs. And it's turn 9. Okay, Duck and Star Wars. And Teardown. Oh my goodness. All right. A problem here for Ryan. He's got 3 DEFCON cards in his hand. No hope of deactivating Star Wars either. So he's going to have to play one for Ops. I think this isn't. Is this just an Aldrich headline? He's got 3 DEFCON cards. He's got Aldrich, he's got China, he's got Cultural. So he could play China twice if he wanted to. The bad US China events are gone. Now I hate headlining Aldrich into headline peak, but I think this is the time for it. Yeah, I hate doing this because you don't want to show your opponent you're going to play Aldrich. Loses a lot of its value when you play it into headline peak. But okay. I'm sure Ryan. Oh boy, what a hand. 4 ops. A hostage crisis, 1 small step. He's got libs, which he's going to have to finally give. I think he's been holding on to that since like turn 5. Wow, what a hand. Okay. We will bury you, going to have to be spaced. Glasnost going to have to be given, but I'm sure Ryan will gladly give that to get a coup and a NORAD trigger. Hostage crisis will have to be given. I think it's just... Yeah, I think it's just one of the... Neither NATO or NTB. Then we give Duck. Now you know that hostage crisis has to be given. So you don't have to worry about filling Iran. You could take Glasnost. All right, yeah, you're going to take Glasnost. You're going to lose the NORAD trigger. Yeah, I think that, yeah, you know what? That's right. I don't know what I'm saying. That's definitely the right decision. You can't allow a Glasnost coup under NORAD. War misses. Flower power doing its work. No, don't you just... You got 3 DEFCON cards in your hand. Don't you... Oh, he misses on the coup. What a disaster. Oh my goodness. I would have used one of the DEFCON cards there. Okay, there goes Saudi. Should play China here. Matter of fact, I'd play China and jam. No, you can't jam any. No, I wouldn't. Don't do that. Don't do that. You know he's got to give the hostage crisis. You know he has to give the hostage crisis, and you know he doesn't have the scoring. If you're going to do this, go into Israel instead. I would like to jam the China card into something in Asia, but he's got so many 4-ops, it doesn't matter. That's not a good play. He has the hostage crisis, and he has, we will bury you. You don't need to take Iran. I would be fine putting 3 into Israel, though. We have to play. We're going to play China this turn. No, you don't take Iran. I don't understand that. I don't understand why you take Iran. Because he's got to give the hostage crisis. Now I think we'll probably just see a 4-op into Israel. Yeah. I would have rather, all 3 of those ops needed to go into Israel, which did not need to go into Iran. We don't have the scoring. Okay, maybe Ryan was trying to bait out a 4-op because he wants to jam South Korea. I mean, he does want to jam South Korea. He's got China. He's got to play China at least once, if not twice. All right. Yeah, I think a Nigeria flip is a fine play, but you need to space one of these bad cards. There it goes. And that misses. So Star Wars definitely, and we saw one small step. Okay, wow, Scott continues to miss on the space rolls. Is Star Wars a DEF CON card? It's a good question. Yeah, I wonder if Star Wars was givable there. I didn't think to check. Okay. Scott's got to give libs. Flip over Nigeria now, right? All right, looking at the math, Ryan with a 6 VP lead in Asia. Middle East is even. Europe is, Scott is ahead in Asia by 6. But he's behind everywhere else. Okay, now Scott up in Central by 1. Okay, Scott wants to take 2 coups in Africa, perhaps. Or maybe just 1. He's got to give libs. Yeah, overprotective Panama is good because you don't want that getting poked. Although it's actually not that good because you want to use libs because you can use libs to overprotect it. And we have to use China AR7. I assume this will be a South Korea jam. Then we're going to go into turn 10 with 2 DEF CON cards in our hand. Jeremy pointing out the nuke subs was triggered. I wonder, he's thinking about giving teardown because France is not a very good. You'd have to use the 3 ops to take back East Germany, but France is not realignable right now. This is interesting, very interesting. You could give teardown. Yeah. Yeah, you could give teardown. Yeah, yes, I know, Tim. You can realign it. It just wouldn't be particularly profitable. Even if you hit, France does not have any blue influence in it. So I think he's going to take a... Yeah, I like that. I didn't even spot that, but great call, Jeremy. Now, obviously, if he rolls a 6, if he coups East Germany and he rolls a 6, that's a nightmare, because then you have to use the 3 ops back in East Germany and you can't repair it. So you could lose it. But I think you probably are willing to take that risk to get the bad DEFCON card out of your hand and hold on to China. I'm surprised Ryan decided not to go for a jam of South Korea with China. Yeah, okay, so there's libs, and now it has to... Yeah, that's fine. Poke of Libya for Dom in the Middle East, and Scott with headline peak. Does Ryan get Middle East? He doesn't. Oh, but he gets a monster. He gets a monster. He gets Purge, ABM. Also picks up Bear Trap. Yeah, this is a huge Purge. And now Scott. Oh, yeah. And that poke in Libya didn't even affect Dom. Nice. Yeah. He thought we were on turn 10. Okay. That's why. That's why. Okay. And there's Cal, and an active Cal before Purge. Flips over Libya and takes Mexico. Okay. Now Ryan dominated in the Middle East. And this is going to be, we're going to see a NORAD trigger here. Ryan's got to have this. He's going to get a NORAD trigger. You got to have a 4, and he does get it. Okay. Okay, so Ryan with domination in Europe, but presumably Scott can fix that. Although he's under Purge. Ugh. He's under Purge. Boy. 3 countries to 5 in Europe. I seriously doubt that Ryan ends this game with Europe domination. Solidarity could be a big thing. Sorry, folks. Let me get the video going back for you. 5-year plan for the event, and it pulls Teardown. Wow, okay. Pulls Teardown. That flips over. Okay, so even if it had pulled Bear Trap, Ryan still doesn't get DEFCON because he can use Bear Trap to discard one of the others. Okay, still 5 countries to 3, but now Scott can easily stop Europe Dom here. Yeah, that'll do it. And I think Ryan's got to just play Pershing right back in. Yep. Star Wars has to go to space. He's got a 0 op, a 1, a 2, and then Bear Trap to finish. Scott with a 5 VP lead in Asia. That stops Dom. Okay, you're spacing. Okay, Ryan Ryan's got 5 in South America. He's got 4 in Africa. Scott has 5 in Asia. Middle East and Central are even. Actually, Middle East is Scott plus 1, and then Europe is Ryan plus 1. So right now, yeah, Scott with 5 in Asia, 1 in Central, 1 with China. So that's 7. Ryan with 9 with 10 on the board. So Ryan is up 3 right now. Ryan is up 5 because of mill ops. Ryan up 5. If the game ended right this second, Ryan is up 5. Scott needs to get his mill ops. Scott is purged, but he does have China. Wow, this is a close one. This one coming right down to the end. That purge is huge. Scott doesn't have much hope of stopping. He's not going to stop Africa Dom. Not going to stop South America Dom either. Okay, a UN of what? Reformer. Okay, 2-op coup. Yeah, he needed a huge roll there to stop Dom. Doesn't get it. So now Scott is down 3. 3 ARs to go. Scott is down 3. Yeah, and Ryan needs to make sure Colombia is not his only South American battleground. Or non-battleground, rather. Oh, come on, Ryan. Okay. Scott is down 3. Ryan only with 5 minutes left on his clock, and he's got to be worried about that. Ryan only with 5 minutes left on the clock and having internet problems, so he's got to be nervous here. This is a problem. Ryan needs to get a move on here. 5 minutes is plenty of time for 3 ARs, but if you're having internet problems, not so much. Even realigns on Nigeria don't work. Nigeria is not a particularly important country anyway, but Ryan just wanted his clock to stop. Oh, and South America. That's going to do it. Now Scott, that should do it. Scott now behind by 8. Yeah, I don't mind Cambridge poking West Germany to stop Dom there. Oh, man. South America comes back. Ryan takes Dom in Europe. Ryan now up 13. 2 ARs to go. And he's got a guilt-free 3 coming AR7. Really tough pull. I mean, I guess Scott didn't want to pull Bear Trap. He pulled Tear Down. Pulling Star Wars probably would have been fine, because then you actually get the Star Wars event. Tear Down didn't do a ton for Scott. Oh my goodness. Ryan's still with internet problems. And Scott plays CRG. Okay, that could stop Africa Dom. All right, so now Africa was 5. Excuse me, Africa was 4 for Ryan. Now it's only 1 for Ryan. Okay, now Scott was down 8. This would put Scott down 9. Scott needs to find 9 VPs on his AR7 to win. 11 if he uses China. So he's got to use voice. Yeah, if Scott, I think VOA is around. And if it is, One in Iraq. No, one in Iraq doesn't do it. You got to go 2 in the Middle East to get Dom. And you will go 1 Colombia and 1 Nigeria. 1 Nigeria would be 4. 1 Colombia would be 3. And 2 in the Middle East would be 3. That's 10. Okay, it's 9. The lead is 9. Ryan with the lead with a 9-point lead. Scott acting like someone who does not have VOA. I believe Colombia is 3. If he had VOA, which he doesn't. Colombia is 3. Nigeria is 4. And then Iraq, Lebanon is 3 more. That's 10. That would be enough. VOA is a 1 VP win. Yeah, China is not good enough. Okay. Well, congrats to Ryan. He ekes it out by 6 VPs. What a fun game. What an interesting one. Maybe not too fun for Scott as he falls and is eliminated in Atlantic League playoffs, but he goes to the 3rd place game. Scott also will be playing in the Champions League. So we can look forward to seeing him there. And Ryan moves on to the finals where he's going to be defending his Atlantic League title. So I'll have those games for you. Also hope to have the other semifinal, Jim and Josiah, when those games are played. So I will let you know. But that'll do it. So thanks to Ryan and Scott for sending in the video. And thanks to you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day. That was fun. But now it's done. So long, everybody.